breeze blowing, storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the page life is about to appear. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, and if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells you when Mike leaves you rain. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation Pride.
All right, good morning, everybody. What's up? I had to leave my Bulls shirt on because I wanted everybody to know that picture I posted was from today. I am tracking my walking 6 days in a row now. And as you're learning, I really don't have a lot of shirts. I think that's a guy thing. We have our favorite 5 or 6 shirts, and that's all I wear. Kayla, thank you. I love that song too. Keem, how's it going? We got 2 dogs today laying on my lap. Sarah went to school a little late today. We were watching Monday Night Football. Julie's from Minnesota. She's a big Vikings fan, so it was a great game. They look just like the Bucks. They came out. Here comes a yawn. They came out looking terrible, and then they turned it around. It was almost a carbon copy of the game with the Bucks. So anyway, this is a little longo. What's up, everybody? We are almost at the halfway point of the season. And there's no guessing going on anymore. I'm just going to wait. Years ago, I used to pick apart every little model, and there was all these, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. And as we've learned this season of all seasons, even when we have something, it doesn't do what many think it's going to do. Now the analyzing is taking place online of why it's happening. And I'm like, well, how come we couldn't figure that out ahead of time? But that's why I'm just going to post puppy pictures and shenanigans. So anyway, hope you're doing well. We're going to talk. I do have some tabs open to show you, so don't run off. We're going to talk tropics since it is peak season. Got some weather to talk about here in the south, especially with that lingering front. A couple of little other fun announcements I want to talk to you about. So I just got another text. Yeah, just waiting on confirmation from the Rays here. They got my email now, so now it's just setting it up. So I'm 99% sure I get to throw the first pitch out. That's going to be the most wildest day ever for me. Never dreamed of all the things I've been blessed to do in Mike's Weather page. I think that might be one of the best. A lot of memories with the Rays. That's because we named our dog after Longoria. I got a picture of both Emily and Sarah at 2 years old. Both of them with our parents and Julie's mom. when they were both 2. They were both 2 years old the first time we took them to a Rays game. Emily was 2. Emily started her softball journey at the Rays Stadium. We met our first Robert Little League coach. He turned around and recognized me. Emily had to be 6 years old then. She's 19 now. He's like, hey, you ought to get her involved with Little League. And we didn't even know what that was. We took her to her first softball game. She hated it. She hated it. She would cry in the outfield. But we pushed her. We started buying Emily Build-A-Bears at 6 years old. And if she went through the game without crying, we would buy her a Build-A-Bear. And now we have a room of about 50 Build-A-Bears. But we knew she was good. We were hoping. She hated it. Now, it's funny. She played right field because that's where you put all the kids that. No coach's kids play right field. I can tell you that. Rotate the kids around. Keep their interests up. No kid at 6 years old should be stuck in the outfield because nobody's hitting the ball. Anyway, hey, listen. So big thanks to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. We got an announcement today. We got 2 meet and greets next week. One in Apollo Beach on Tuesday at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm going to bring the dogs. And then on Thursday, we're going to be at Cocoa Beach. So Apollo Beach Tuesday for a meet and greet where you can buy your Spaghetti Model IPA there at ABC, and I'll sign it for you. We're going to have free koozies and stickers and hero cards and meet the dogs, and Julie will be there and the girls, maybe Emily at Cocoa, but so that's coming up. Watch for that. If you live locally, I'd love to see you. It's always fun. Last year's got canceled because of the hurricanes. So good thing we don't have hurricanes. I thought ABC was the reason we had hurricanes because we scheduled 2 meet and greets last year. Helene and Milton messed those up. So, all right, we're going to say hi for a few minutes. I don't mean to be rude. I love saying hi, but then we got to get going on some weather. So who we got? We got TikTok streaming, Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, X streaming, MWP chat. So, yeah, Lacey, 4.6 inches of rain in Point of where the heck is Point Verdra at? Is that near Jacksonville? So we've been getting a lot of weather to the north, east side of Florida, southern Georgia there because of this front line. A lot of coastal advisories are up from a persistent wind up there. Morning, Tammy Harvick. Good morning, Ryan Anderson. Morning, Steve from Gulfport. Apollo Beach. Well, you should come see us there, WestCon. We're going to be over there next Tuesday. Crystal from Vero Beach, KRJ, Daytona Beach. A lot of beaches here today. Some beach. Ricardo got a big old rain in Miami yesterday, it looks like. Yep. South of Jackson's where it's at. Hey, Bobby, what's up? Hurricane Harbor. Edward there from Savannah. Love Savannah. Love the old houses up there. Louie looks sleepy. Yep. Hazel. He's my boy. He's 7 years old. He can still jump up and down off the bed, though. Delray got almost 5 inches. I'm going to have to do a map, then, of all this rain yesterday. I didn't realize we had that much rain across the state. Well, I knew we had the rain. I posted the HRRRR, but not everybody got it, of course. Oh, man. So, anyway, peak season's tomorrow. All the chatter is on that. Tina from Daytona, but now is in Texas. Hillary, good morning. How you doing? Space Coast over there. Good. Well, cool, man. He is a happy dog, Tina. He a good boy. A little anxious today. I don't think he understood why Sarah was still here at 9 o'clock. So he's looking for her. Anyway, go over there to sleep with your brother. But here we are. So, thank you, Brooke. Appreciate that. So, a couple fun things. Thursday night, I'll be on with my buddy Dennis Phillips, DPL Live. So, we'll be posting that Thursday night if you like Dennis. I love all the anti-Mike Sawyer page people. They always tell everybody they only watch Dennis. So then I'll automatically, I know they're Tampa Bay people because nobody else really would watch Dennis and nobody in Louisiana is getting weather from Dennis. Dennis is definitely the Tampa Bay market, and great friend of mine. But 99% of the time, people say they don't follow me; they follow Dennis, and I laugh because we kind of share the same stuff. Kinda. Our girls play softball. He drinks Dr. Pepper. I drink higher octane stuff. 99L. I don't know, Ann. We don't have a 99L. And I believe we don't have 99L. Annie, nothing's out there. There's no invest right now. I don't think. The next invest would be 92, by the way. 91 fizzled out. Tammy, yep, throwing the ball out. I'm waiting on an email. Rays, where's my email? Don't tease me like this. If I get an email during the show here, I'm going to go absolutely wild. So busy. So there we go. Let's talk weather. You had 99L. No 99L. So next week's pretty wild. We got 2 meet and greets Tuesday, Thursday. We're doing the pitching, the Rays, and then the first Bucks game is that Sunday. It'll be busy week. I do love spaghetti model IPA. Heck yeah. It's amazing. It's definitely not a start early. It's more of a finish the day beer. Because it is pretty strong. So cool. All right. Well, let's talk a little weather. We always stick around at the end to say hello more. Our brew crew over there. Hello, brew crewers. Hope you're doing well. Tweaking things out. We're going to really get Brew Crew more organized for next season as we really like our platform. Terry Waters, thank you. Try to. All right, we're going to talk weather, and then I'll definitely pop my head over here now and then. This is the water vapor map. If you ever see people share it, the reason nobody was able to predict this, not even Nostradamus, a lot of dry air in the Atlantic. It comes off of Africa, sinks down, lowers, cools, warms, all this stuff happens, and we don't get a lot of thunderstorms. We do have a blob over the Virgin Islands. Anybody in the Virgin Islands right now? Got a little blob. That one was looking interesting. It could be leftover 91. I don't know. All that's just blending together right now, but none of that stuff's marked by the NHC, so there's no worries. Morning, Corpus Christi, Melton, Texas. So that's it. That's a water vapor map. This is the intertropics convergence zone, around 10 degrees usually, 10, 15, 5 degrees. And comes off Africa, and usually lows, spit off of there sometimes. Sometimes they just keep on going towards the Pacific. What stands out to me more than anything is this lingering front. Somebody asked me, well, not, and this name, I don't remember the guy's name, and I know he wasn't being too sarcastic. He's like, don't get upset. I didn't get upset if you're listening. He had a great question. Why is the weather pattern any different than normal? Well, it's the rain isn't different. The isolated showers aren't different. It's the source of the rain. And we've had a lingering front for over 2 months across the southeast and Florida. That's just not normal. Normally we have these big old high pressure areas, okay, and they create sea breeze boundaries, warming up of the day, classic patterns, upper Gulf, west coast, east coast. Well, everything that's been happening recently is because of this front. That's the difference. We got a low in the Atlantic that's pushing clockwise towards northern part of Florida into Georgia there. We got clockwise in the Gulf, and that's pushing off because of wind shear. You can see it really bubbling this morning. All that's doing the same thing, repeat pattern. So it's not a normal pattern that we're in. And here's what it looks like. This is like I've never seen a front linger through August and September like this. I mean, it's crazy. We got another one coming down this weekend, and we're talking about that. That's what we got. That's the surface charts. This is what's coming this weekend. There's our little low. Now, the only thing I want to talk about is little low. Interesting. I was so worried to post it this morning because you got to be careful with the words. Didn't want to insinuate we had anything developing because we don't. Morning, Stephanie. Morning, Gus. But it's nice and cool up there in Panama, Stephanie. Remnants, Bobby, was that Invest 91? That over there by the Caribbean? Hey, look at that. Buenos Dias from From Cancun, Pierre, is that right? Awesome. Well, nice that you tuned in. So let's talk about. I'll try to show you your weather. There's nothing tropical down that way. We were on the other side of the Yucatan on our last Margaritaville cruise. We went to. The hell was the name of it? I'm confused now. What's that port? We'll talk about it later. I don't know. Somebody knows. Yeah, Tammy, the dust has been definitely more than it was supposed to. Yes. Man, I am completely... Now I have to find this out real quick because now it's really got me bothered. So let me just do the Yucatan. I can do a map. And here it is. Where the hell, man? It doesn't show on this one. Where the hell does the Margaritaville go? On the northeast side of, or northwest side of. But then I pulled the map, and I want a Google map. I don't want. And that one's. Progresso. Progresso. I think it's Progresso. Anyways, it was a nice little area. I met some locals there. It was really fun. Had a great time. Liz, yep, USF here too. All right, so here's the front. Let's talk about this real quick. Let's go really fast. This is what we got coming. This is, rain. Let's look at the timestamps up top here. This is today. Tomorrow, Wednesday, same pattern. There's that low. Oh, I want to talk about that low pressure. So we do have a little bit of a low out here. It's very high low pressure, but it's lower than it was yesterday, 10, 12. Tropics need at least 1,000 millibars to even start worrying about development. But it is low. It's low. It's lowering pressures. Sometimes these little tails can be sneaky, but there's a lot of wind shear because of the front, too. The jet stream's really whipping. And then we have another front coming down this end of the week, and that'll just eliminate any chances because there's more wind shear. But anyway, here's the same thing on Wednesday. Here is Thursday. Same thing. So today is the same as yesterday. It's the Groundhog's Day. And then here's Friday. Starting to get a little push south. Look at this blue line. This is that sneaky little front that might end up. Look at that. Blue line goes past the Keys. Now, instead of 93, it's going to be 91. But with lower humidity. And we might hit 69 here in Tampa Bay, in Orlando. So it's going to be a nice weekend, and we're going to talk about that. But look at that front, man. It goes way south. It might even hit the Yucatan. Look at that front. We don't see fronts this time of year. That's all the way through the state on Sunday morning. Sunday morning front coming down. Then it backs up a little bit. Brings more rain again. And lingers into next week. The year of the lingering front. Here's rainfall totals today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Here's Friday. It starts to disappear. Now watch Saturday. Drum roll. A little bit South Florida. And then Sunday, almost nothing. And Monday, almost nothing. So front line's the deal. Weekend looks decent. Here's the map I put out this morning. I realized the letters are very small. But I thought it's interesting. I think the first cool front of the year, I always end up the forecast busts for me because it sometimes doesn't materialize. Hey, look at that. Former Bucks cheerleader. Oh, awesome. Oh, maybe we did. Oh, maybe I kind of remember you. How you doing over there on... Going to the Bucks game 21st. PCB looks fine. Nobody. Oh, my dad just got an email. He's excited. Oh, my dad. Oh, he's so excited. Have you been tracking me trying to help my dad? So my dad wanted to get set up on Hard Rock so he can bet football. He used to bet football when he was 30s, 40s, 87. Now he wants to bet football, and he's been having a heck of a time. And he's got a flip phone, and they've been submitting his ID verification through his flip phone. I'm like, OMG Wix, Josh, I need help. So I was able to forward it somehow to my phone and did it through my phone, and it worked. So he can bet this weekend. The little things in life. Technology and old people don't mix. I feel bad for the older generation. All right, Tropics in 5 minutes, I swear. So this is Sunday. The only reason this is exciting to me is, I don't know, fire pit Saturday night. But your anomaly map is what the temperature normally is this time of year. Blue is 5 to 6 degrees below normal, so there you go. The bottom right is humidity values, very low humidity on Sunday. And dew points on the bottom left, 50s and 60 dew points down middle state. That just makes the air feel cooler. So yeah, it's happening. Nobody else is talking about it, so it probably won't. Oh, Steve, he wasn't. He would have won. He's only going to bet 3 games a week. He's a Dolphins fan, Steelers fan, and Bucks fan. He would have won 2 out of 3. My dad, hopefully, he's going to get to go to watch the Rays game. Yes. So, nope, Buccaneers, Tizzy. Yeah, we had the dogs in the morning. Sorry, you got to be here at 9:19. So there you go. All right, this is interesting. I rolled out of bed this morning about 5:30. Posted this. I'm going to show you what's going on in the Gulf. We got a low pressure spinning. Yeah, low pressures don't mean hurricanes. Oh, by the way, I wanted to debut this too. Anybody that's ordered from spring, I think they're back. I'm not going to put the link back up, but I had an order back in March, and it finally all showed up. And I did a little experiment to Shelly yesterday and mailed her a couple shirts, and it said it was going to be there in a week. But then I got this today, and I don't even know what stickers in it. I got excited, so I'm going to open it with y'all because I ordered a bunch of stickers for my new cooler, and I think it's, hold on. Oh, it's Hurricane Hunter dogs. Only one sticker in there? I ordered one sticker. Hello. It's the Watchdogs. Look. So we got little Hunter and Louie going to be, maybe I'll put them on my truck. I don't know. So excited about that, so. Okay. No hurricane. There's no hurricane, no storms, Christy. Nothing to worry about. People think, I love the comments that think I'm bored. Do my posts look like I'm bored? Where's that, Savvy Mom? Where you at? I would like for lunch. Where you at? I didn't get to see your comment. Morning 386. That's not Chris, is it? Oh. Man, I lost this. Oh, I'm not a very good iPhoner. So anyway, we're going to talk about this. The convection was really popping over that low pressure center, and we're going to look at it right now. It doesn't mean anything. So what's happening? Low pressure storms start to rise, get a lot of storms, and all of a sudden you get the wind shear, and it kind of separates all that off towards Florida. So it rises and then shoves off. But we definitely got an increased rain chance. All right, here we go. This is another little map I did this morning. The flow. So everybody up there in Jacksonville, the area, has been telling me we had 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain yesterday. We got coastal advisories in Georgia down through Florida because we have a persistent winds pushing in from the east, and that's up in the rain. And then on our side, where the front line is the opposite, it's coming in from the west. So it's very different. Somebody says, why is this any different than any other year? Well, it's different because we don't normally have front lines that hang out for weeks. So that's what's going on. We got this front line and low over here. So there you go. Zoom.earth is kind of neat because it kind of shows you the wind barbs, and you can kind of see where that low is. See it spinning. And we're getting some pretty interesting little thunderstorms out there in the Gulf. The only thing different than yesterday is the pressures are a little bit lower, which means the storms might have a little bit more pop to them. And here's the current look. Let me fast forward it here, or rewind it, or refresh it. How about that? Rewind. So classic. Okay, so this is the bubbling of so low pressure is right here off the coast of Florida, right here, somewhere right here. So the low pressure is right there. So we have wind shear, and all these winds are coming in across from the west. So anything that grows, the thunderstorms get pushed off to the west. So you get a burst, and then it kind of like dissipates it off. But a lot of that's staying together. But then what happens, like even with hurricanes, you get a secondary burst and then a third burst, and then you're starting to see a new one right here starting to show up. Not that it's none of this is to worry about anything. It's just kind of what's happening in the weather. Kind of fascinating. Hey, I like weather. It's a weather page. Why am I talking about weather? But we're starting to see a burst right here again. So, just that's what's happening. And again, because it's flowing counterclockwise, a lot of this is fueling, storms all the way down in South Florida, which you guys and gals already know about, and pulling it in from there. So there's that. Tropics. Tomorrow is peak season. What does that mean? Well, nothing. No. Yeah, Chrissy, you're fine, man. No, there's all kinds of videos sharing runs. Of random runs, getting everybody worked up. So, Colorado, Sean, where's our Area 51 girl? I started hearing about this UFO flying in. Have you anybody been following that one? What do they call that big old thing coming to be here in a few weeks? And I thought we have somebody who watches us from Area 51, so I thought we'd get some intel from her. Yeah, Bonnie, go check out the Intercoastal there. They do have coastal flood advisories up. All right. So anyway, peak season, whatever. We have nothing right now to worry about. We have a lot of anticipation, There was an interesting stat. Last year we had a gap of like 2 or 3 weeks till September 9th. We had nothing. And then 22, we had a 60-day gap of nothing. So I probably posted stuff like that in the past too. But it's kind of it's not wish casting, but I feel like I would be wish casting if I talked about too much guessing. Like, so I'm just going to kind of wait until there's really strong signals, because the cry wolf thing gets old, and then when it comes time to cry wolf, no one might listen to me. Is what I'm talking about. So yeah, the water is extremely hot. In fact, I'm going to show you, man. We have the highest ocean heat content in the Gulf since the 2013. So man, but these fronts also bring in a lot of wind shear too. So it takes a lot more than hot water. Water is not as big as wind shear is, because Aaron formed over 82 degrees water. That's not very hot. And Aaron went from a tropical storm to a Cat 5 overnight, over 82 degrees water. So it's more than just water. I feel like when I post water graphics, it's almost like oh my God, it's going to be Cat 7 coming. But like I said, it takes a lot more. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. There's wind shear, there's humidity, dry air, there's dust. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that has to come together more than just hot water. Here's a snapshot of what this season is. It's kind of funny if you think about it. I mean, not funny, but it's all we've had. Did we actually have one tropical storm? Oh, yeah, Chantel was pretty bad, actually. But honestly, not laughing. The two events that we did have were, unfortunately for Texas, Barry mingled with another energy source and brought additional rains to those floods that we saw. And there was some pretty bad flooding with Chantel, which, again, people think the season's a bust. And, rain, people forget, I think, Barry and Chantel were actually bad. They brought a lot of rain. But that's it. The other systems were all fish storms. We haven't had a strong Bermuda high. Aaron, all that buzz with Aaron going west has still split the gap between Bermuda and U.S. We have a high pressure persistent now. We have a front line now. So anything I hear probably would follow that pattern. And there's models showing that. Anything down here is probably going to do that. We got fronts. As long as we got these fronts, it would take something down here to get going, because they're not going to probably start here with all this wind shear. They're going to start down here. But that's what we got this year so far. Here's the latest 0% chance of anything. 58 degrees in Laurel Hill. Ronald Jones. Holy moly. Oh, good morning, Bob. What's up? But there you go. 0 chance of it. So come back later. We do have Kiko. Kiko went north of Hawaii. A lot of dry air. Are they even doing advisories? It's gone, I think, isn't it? I don't even know. I think it's dissipated. And why is this? Because look at it, it's naked swirl. There's no more convection. Wind shear. This is what you hear when you hear naked swirl. Here's the center. See it? And all this convection is way, way far away. So in order to be tropical, you need convection around the center. So I'm sure it's dissipated. But anyway, Hawaii did not get a hurricane. Ensemble blend, if we go out 10 days plus, the only thing in town has been a consistent showing of another wave, like we talked about. This is tropical storm percentages. So it's only 10, 15, 20. Look at the color. Look at the color key. This is tropical storm percentage. And it's not very high percentages. Notice it's hardly got anything in the Gulf, even though the GFS is. We'll show you that. But that's, this is not a lot of signature right now. Here's your ensembles. I wanted to talk about these. I did a post right before we went live of what the heck ensembles mean. Tampa, Adrian. What's up? Another Colorado, David. What's up with you Colorado people watching Mike's Weather page? So what are ensembles? I keep checking my email to see if I get my official raise that information. They tease me. Don't tease me like that. It's still 2 weeks away, so I'm sure I'm very anxious. All right, so what are ensembles? So, I didn't even want to post the ensembles this morning because I think a lot of, we see one line and 2 lines, and we think, oh, man, look at that. So we posted a lot of ensembles for Aaron because there's 51 members of the Euro and there's 31 of the GFS. So there was a lot of the Euro showing development, but there was probably a third of the Euro that weren't. And that's tricky because it wasn't 100% certain that Aaron was going to do anything. It was just if it did something, that was the track. So, like, if we look at this map now, if you were to do 5 divided by 51, there's, like, very low chances of anything right now. So, if anything, the point of this is the flow. If we were to get something in the Mid-Atlantic, that would be the flow because of the high low-pressure frontal line and lack of Bermuda high pressure. So, and then the other thing is there's only 2 or 3 in the Euros showing the Gulf that the GFS has been really showing. So, it's silly to promote something that's got low chances right now. We can always say there's a chance in the tropics without looking at this map. But what we don't always see in the tropics is this persistent recurve that we saw in 2023 with an El Nino year. So it is kind of odd for a La Nina building year to see a lot of fish storm steering currents. But the main operational runs and it basically uses its best guess on its 51 members on what the most likely output will be. And here's 10 days from now showing you some sort of a system which blends in perfectly with its own ensembles somewhere, here is what it predicted on that. And if it was here, then it would likely do that. So nothing to worry about. That's it. Let's look at the operation. Let's look at the actual runs here on Tropical Tidbits. I want to see what the GFS is showing. It's been showing, 10, 11 low is not, it's not formed, but it's lower than yesterday. So I'm personally going to be watching the Gulf for anything sneaky. Oh, let's say hi to a few folks. Let's see. Palaca, Southern Sweetheart. Angelique and Tim, 100%. Creeks are overflowing 904. That's the Jacksonville area. Bill, yes, a lot of persistent east winds. There's coastal flood advisories right now. Big time. I want to get into that. I want to look at that too. I'm curious. Hey, Gus. Oh, thank you, David. We really haven't had a lot in South Louisiana to talk about. You all. They've had a pretty nice stretch of a month here, right? Earlier in the year, there was a lot of rain in Louisiana. We had but yeah, I was so excited. Anybody ever fix their own blinds? I found my little gear mechanism on Amazon for $6, and it's going to be here tomorrow because my spinner broke. And I want to be able to see my gator out back. So I'm hoping to be able to fix my blinds. Tim, the tool man Taylor. Oh, Valerie, yep, 2022. We had 60 days of nothing. Everybody thought the season was done. Then here comes Ian and Nicole. Drought map, I'll look at it, Beast, but not too bad. I think this week's rain is going to equal things out in South Florida. We're going to look at that CAG. Yes, 8-bit Brew there. Nothing over the Yucatan. No. That's the lingering front. I don't know. Let's look at it all. You talking about the lingering front? I really want to know what you're talking about. You talking about this right here? This is all leftover frontal line. So, man, right, Bobby Blobby? Bobby Blobby. That was our song. Hurricane Bobby Blobby. Usually lingering fronts need to be watched, but there's just so much wind shear right now in the Gulf that none of this, So, yeah, you would always pay attention to this. But, models aren't showing anything, so. All right, let's see what the GFS is showing. Looking ahead, still showing a weak system there. We're not going out too far. So it is still showing this around the 20th now. It's backing up in time. When models back up in time, it means the idea is there. They're just guessing. But like somebody mentioned, this CAG setup, this is so classic. So let's look at September 19th and zoom into Central America. And the CAG setup is very interesting because we get a very persistent, these are wind barbs. Kind of hard to see them, but this is on tropical tidbits, by the way. But you get a very broad lowering pressures here. And as this low pressure spins, sometimes it can spit out a system here, or sometimes it can spit out a system here and go off into the Pacific. So that's what the CAG setup is. And the GFS keeps showing it. See that little system there pulling up? But this run is not very organized. 00Z not showing really anything. So it's just nothing. There's not anything persistent enough to like go all in on. I mean, that's a classic CAG right here. You can just see the two systems, Pacific and Upper Gulf, and time frame would be the 19th and 20th right there. So there's just nothing. There's nothing to really guess right now. Just areas to kind of keep an eye on. Lowering pressures. Let's see what the Euro shows for pressures down that way. See, it's lowering pressure. See, I mean, there's 1,007. So this little low that's off of Florida right now is 1,010, and this is 1,007. So yeah, that's why once you get lowering pressures, things are easier to pop. Euro, same time frame here, showing the opposite. Oh, it is showing a little low popping here on the 20th. But there's just nothing. There's just nothing. So I'm not, definitely, we just, there's areas to watch, yes, but I just don't see anything right now that stands out as, oh boy, here's what we got to watch. I mean, really, the only thing I'm really curious about is this Gulf low. But like I said, there's an awful lot of wind shear overhead right now. And if you look at different things, we can look at wind shear right now over the Gulf or South. Let's just do Caribbean. Well, I don't think the wind shear map works on this. You got to go wider. I don't know why it's either. Caribbean will work though. But here's overall wind shear. Look at that. I mean, there's a lot of wind shear. Like 30, 40, 50 knots, 60 knots of wind shear right off Florida. And this is persistent. This is through Thursday. And here comes a new front Friday. So that's just too much wind shear. It's going to keep the rain pushing towards Florida, guaranteed. But that's just a lot of wind shear. I mean, just that. I mean, anomaly-wise, I'm sure it's above. It is. Big time above. 0 is white and yellows are above normal. This is through Friday. That's because it's a front. But look at that. That's way above normal wind shear. So, yeah, wind shear. Let's look at Jacksonville area. I want to look at that winds coming in off y'all. See that frontal boundary line? Wow, it is a lot of wind. More than I thought, actually. Why are we not getting emanation? There we go. Emanation. That's a lot of wind. Yeah, it's windy up there. Look at that. That's our frontal line. I drew the arrow this morning. Wow. That's Euro. These are gusts, I think. Oh, that's just, yeah, those were gusts. But still, that's pretty persistent. That's why we have advisories up. Coastal flood advisories currently. All this is coastal flood advisories. And it includes down in the St. Johns River, because the water pushes in. The flow is going to the north, and you get a persistent flow in from the east. It actually reverses, creates a back. The water can't escape, and it just starts rising. It's like pushing, and we have flooding along the river there. But coastal flood advisory. What's that orange? Special marine warning right now. But there you go. So that's what's happening up that way. That's it. Coastal flood safety. Talking about that. Minor tidal flooding this week. Tides are a little higher because we get a full moon. And look at that. That's why. We got a full moon pretty much yesterday. So that's that. I don't think I have anything else I want to talk about. AI ensembles, I haven't been too impressed with this year, but looking out 15 days, there's your general flow of anything that were to form, likely down that center. Euro AI, I showed that earlier, or Euro operational main run, there was like nothing. A little bit there maybe. So that flow, the GFS is a little more aggressive on the idea of maybe the Gulf area. Right here, you get a couple of them, but nothing more, nothing less than what we've been seeing. There's your flow. There's just it, man. And then there's just a couple down here. We can look at Google, I guess. We'll go to Weather Nerds just for fun. There's two other model suites we can look at. There's Google. One here. Let's see here. There's your wave coming off Africa, going north. Nothing in the Gulf at all. And hey, anybody want to buy a Storm Chaser truck? I'll lease it to read. Look at that, man. They're all really going north. So that's it. All right, 10 o'clock. There's nothing to talk about. That's true. Yep, we're ready to read. You're right. St. John's is one of the few rivers that flow north. Ooh, we got somebody over there No sunshine for a while. No, this pattern's locked in oblivion for days. Showing a little blue down the Caribbean Gulf. Yep, Bobby. A little bit. Pressures are going to drop. Yeah, we'll be live tomorrow. Thank you, David. We all learn together, man. For sure, we all learn together. How many hurricanes are predicted this year? Well, I don't know where to find that, but I think it was 9 or 7. 9? I can't remember what the official forecast was. But it's below what was expected. Obviously, it's in tomorrow's peak season, so. But let me show you the one graphic that's just, I'll show you all. I ain't going to post it. I'm going to post a dog picture. That's more fun. But somebody posted this, and I think our ocean heat content is now above 24. It is, barely. So right here, that number right there, that's where we are. Look at that. This is from 13 to now, since 2013. This is what they measure the ocean heat energy in the below the surface, basically, and it's the amount of fuel, basically. I mean, it's just, and we're above 24. 23 was the next line, and the blue is the average. So there's plenty of energy to be worked with if anything tried to develop. Your anomaly maps on Tropical Tidbits here showing you, 2 to 3 degrees above normal. That's the wake that was left behind Aaron, still near normal, still hot. It's not cold water. It's just this is blending models compared to what they normally are on a 30-year average. Their temperatures are still hot, really hot. Somebody posted like 87 off Fort Lauderdale. That's really hot for this time of year. So anyway, we'll just enjoy the break. Yeah. Now look at this. There's some modeling suggesting that that's our front leftovers. They would shoot off to the northeast. Well, I wish I knew more to say. The rains are going to be really persistent, Katie, for 3 or 4 days before this front comes down Friday and pushes everything out. So, rains are very random today. You don't know where they're going to be. Anytime, any place. As we saw, that low pressure area is spinning into some stuff, but as soon as anything rises, it falls. Definitely got some spin. All right, cool. Have a great day. Anybody new in the chat? Appreciate joining along. 3 things coming up I'm excited about. Next week, Tuesday at Apollo Beach. I'll be at the ABC 5 to 7. We'll be bringing the dogs and autographing our Spaghetti Model IPA from Tampa Bay Brewing Company. And then on Thursday, we're at Cocoa Beach. And that'll be next week, the 18th, 5 to 7 p.m. And then this Thursday, I'll be on with my buddy Dennis Phillips, and we will be on his show, DPL, which is big here in Tampa Bay. So, cool beans. We will see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place, 9:19, after my day 7 of walking.